All right, so having added some 3D circular lettering to this and a subtractive lettering, which we can see because it's indented into the casing. I think I'm going to do the same thing, except have it be more of an additive process that's part of the same material. So let's go ahead and try that out. So I've already got my circle in the scene. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I will either go up here to add or push Shift A and add text. And by default, it's on 1/2 inch, which is what I had it set at before. So that's great. I will go ahead and tab or go up here or whatever to go into edit mode. Let's change the word text to crystal. And that's great. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a modifier. And I'm going to add, actually, before I do that, one thing I'd done previously, and I believe it works both ways, was I converted this to a mesh and then I extruded. But I can also do it the other way around. So if I go to the lettering tab, there are settings down here for a variety of different things. But under geometry, let's zoom in on the lettering a little bit. There is an extrude option, for example, so I can use that to thicken up the letters in advance if I want. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So that's cool. The other thing I think I'm going to do right now is just to avoid confusion. Let's go ahead and rename these. Let's call the one that says Tunnel Project a TP. All right, back to Crystal. I think what I'll do is, in this case, I'm going to add a modifier, but last time I added the modifier when it was text. This time I'm going to do it the other way around. So I will, with that selected, if I go to the object and go to convert, I can convert it to a mesh. We now see that the symbols changed, so this text should now actually be a mesh. And I can go ahead and I can add a curve modifier. And as soon as I select, I will select the curve object to be the circle. And we will see that it is lining up nicely along the edge of that circle or over the circle like I had said it. This time around, though, I want the crystal, that word, to be up over the top going this way. So I'm going to make a little bit of a change there. What I can do is if I go to circle, I should be able to just go ahead and go into edit mode. So let's push tab. And if I go up to segments, let's select all. Yeah, we're good there. Segments, and I believe I can just switch direction. And now we'll see that crystal, the word crystal is flipped and it's running the other way. So if I tab out of this mode, and now if I select crystal, let's look at it top down. I should be able to grab the arrow and rotate it to where I would like. Okay, so that's cool. Next thing that I can do, let's look at this in the side view and get it approximately to the location I would like. Let's zoom in on that, pushing period on my keypad. So that's pretty good. Okay, so now the next thing would be to rotate this. Now here's the deal. If I go ahead and I start rotating this, let's look at it from a side view. I'd want to rotate it on X so that it ends up moving here. So if I go ahead and I rotate on X, something is happening not quite right. Okay, so it's kind of cool. If I rotate on Z, it's doing some crazy stuff, but that's not quite what I was expecting. So let's see if we can figure this out. One thing I should do is I've got this modifier sitting here that I never applied. You know, it's not real until you actually apply the modifier. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply the modifier, and we'll see if that changed anything. So now if I'm looking at this from a side view, and if I rotate this text on X, well, that's moving more consistently and a lot more like I would expect. I've got an issue here where the origin, though, is not where I want. In fact, the origin's in a really crazy place. So maybe before I do anything like that, I should reset the origin. So I'll go to Object, and I can set the origin to the geometry. And now that little dot has moved, and it's centered, more or less, with this text. So now, if I look at this from the side view, and if I push R to rotate, and if I push X to say that I want to rotate on X, it's moving more consistently with what I would expect. I'm just eyeballing things in this case. For my money today, that's good enough. I'll rotate a little bit more. Oops. I want to specify that I'm rotating just on X, even though I'm looking at it from a side view. I don't like surprises. So let's just tweak it a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to grab this on Z, GZ, move it up a little bit so that it's sticking out some. Cool. Now, let's go ahead and apply material to this. So if I've got everything selected in edit mode, if I go to my materials tab, I should be able to, I'll just create a new slot, and I will apply the transparent material. I'll just type in TR. Oh, there it is, trans. Okay. Yep. So that's cool. Let's tab out. So it's similar material. So now I think what I'm going to do is we'll do a Boolean. So I'm going to go to my modifiers again, this time with the case selected. I'm going to add a Boolean. And unlike in the previous video and a number of videos where I've used the difference, I'm going to switch it to union and leave it on object. And this time the object that I'm going to pick is going to be the crystal text that we have. Give it a minute to think. And then we will go ahead and we will apply. See what happens. All right, now nothing appears to have changed. I've got this crystal here. I've got my case here. But if I hide the crystal, we will see that there is something that has been added to the surface of it that is now part of that mesh. Okay, so we'll stop there and pretend that we like this.